why does meditation provide happiness for us? Yeah, I want to get 3 answers before I move on.
I think it's because once you start to understand what you're thinking about, you're able to lose a lot of the discursive thinking, and that in and of itself boosts your vibration and your joy factor.
If you awareness of thoughts. Mm-hmm. Awareness of thoughts. Okay.
When you discover what's going on in the monkey mind through meditation, through Vipassana, then you're able to feel when it happens, know what you're thinking, and you're able to stop them, knowing that they're discursive thoughts. They're the repetitive, habitual thoughts that have not gotten you anywhere in the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And you learn to mediate them, and then in doing so, that automatically brings a layer of happiness.
Okay. Awareness of thoughts, and then controlling the thoughts. Mm-hmm. Control of thoughts. Okay. Everybody hear that online? It's okay. That's one. Anybody else have another reason why meditation provides happiness? Anybody?
Yeah,
I think
I don't know if it provides happiness, but for me it reduces suffering.
It reduces suffering, yeah. And why is that? I'm looking for whys.
Oh, okay.
And there's no right or wrong answer either. We're just kind of exploring this. And then I'll maybe step in a little bit. Yeah, Chris?
Yeah, so along with what Terry was saying, can you hear me okay?
Yep, great.
Along with what Terry was saying about understanding my thoughts, I think rather than talking about controlling them, it's more about understanding how fleeting they are and the emotions. There's less attachment, there's less stickiness to all the thoughts and emotions that lead to negativity, and when I can that's applied, it seems like the base level. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said a key word there. You said attachment. I mean, to reduce attachment. And I think that's a very, very big part of it. You added some more to it. You said attachment, and I hung up. I got hung up on that, because it was such a good answer. Is there more? You want to ad lib a little bit more again?
No, I think that was basically it. I mean, I just described what non-attachment feels like.
Yeah.
Is that it just loses its stickiness. Everything becomes easier.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Anybody else? Jim, did you want to add to what you were saying?
I think this is very similar, like the little bit of understanding that I have of impermanence helps reduce attachment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the reduction of attachments, those sticky things are and then understanding the impermanence, which is a huge teaching right there, which enables us to let go of attachments and understand those things. And yeah, these are all good answers. Anybody else want to add to it? The question is, why does meditation provide joy for us? And then we're looking for just some responses from that. It could be different strokes for different folks. Different things that happen to other people, and different areas of meditation. Like when we start out meditating, we might be just proud of the fact that we are able to sit for 30 minutes. And that can bring about some inspiration and a feeling of happiness right there. I mean, that's just basic happiness. And I think that as we progress through meditation, we start to understand these other concepts, these deeper concepts, like understanding attachments and being able to reduce these attachments, which is really a big part of acceptance, and further looking at it, a part of letting go, which is letting go of these sticky things for us, which is very important, I think. Material things and mental things. I feel that when we even take that a step further, that when we meditate, for a moment anyway, we are giving up our search, our seeking. And what I mean by that, we're giving up the search to be complete for a while, when we're meditating well, and when our meditation is going really good for us. There's no longer the seeking. I use these two words, seeking and searching, to mean the same thing. That there's something in the human psychology, there's just the human being, and maybe animals too, but I don't know for sure about that. But that we are not, we're always looking for more. We're all looking for our purpose in life, our place in life, the meaning of life. And it starts out on a worldly basis. We're young people and we explore the world. We might do too much partying, too much drinking, too much food, might have a lot of fun. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of these things, but it seems to be the avenue that a lot of people take. And then we come to a point where we kind of start to have a spiritual outlook on things, and it could coincide with having fun. I mean, we still might. I remember talking to a number of people where they would go out and party and they would be drinking and stuff, and then they'd start talking about spiritual things to their friends. You know, like they'd be drinking wine and the conversation would lead into a spiritual kind of thing. You know, very, very common. Or when people are, smoking pot or something like that, maybe. And then I think it goes into a spiritual aspect of the seeking. You know, like I said, the looking and searching for what we are, our purpose in life. Why are we here? What is all of this about? You know. And then when we meditate and everything is going well, it's like there's a moment of being complete, what I call being complete, where that seeking stops for a while. And it can, of course, happen outside of meditation too. I think it can happen when we're going for a walk, or when we're with somebody that we love, and everything is just going right for us. You know, everything is good, and we stop that seeking. And in that stopping of that seeking, we find our true nature. That's who we really are. That joy comes about, and it can definitely happen in meditation. And I think that is what can draw a lot of people into meditation. And when they go out of meditation, which happens a lot, people find meditation and they go, oh, this is the greatest. And then for whatever reason, their practice falls away. And then a couple of months later, they pick it up again. And the reason they pick it up again is because they recognize that they missed it because of that aspect of they started seeking again. They started looking, trying to find all these answers. And we all know that when we're looking for something and we can't find it, it can be very, very stressful, especially when you lost your keys and you're late for whatever. You have to, your car keys are lost and you have to get going, It can be very, very nerve-wracking. And if we lose something and then we try to find it, as soon as we find it, it's like, oh, okay, that's much better. And I think meditation provides that for us, like on a deeper aspect. Also, the definition of the end of the seeking or the end of the search consequently is enlightenment as well. When one becomes an arhat, there's different stages of awakening, different stages of enlightenment, we'll say. This is, by the words of the Buddha. And these different stages, there's like a processing that happens with each one. A person just doesn't go all the way through all four of these and end up as an arhat. And it might go through a couple of stages and then take a few steps back and a couple more forward and a few steps back. And then eventually we will all become arhats. This is what the Buddha promised us, that we will find our Buddha nature and understand it, and we'll all become enlightened at some point. Will it happen in this lifetime? Who knows? Will it happen in next lifetime? Did it happen in the last lifetime? Probably not, otherwise we wouldn't necessarily be here, unless we were bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva is an enlightened person that takes the vow to come back as a being like this, or whatever being is necessary to help sentient beings, all other people. And for example, the Dalai Lama is supposedly a bodhisattva. But if we're bodhisattvas, we probably would know it by now. I know that I'm not, and I'm speaking honestly and from the heart. I can speak from enlightenment from things that I've heard about, not from direct experience. But I think we all have a taste of the experience of enlightenment when we momentarily stop the search, stop that seeking. And so from that aspect, I think meditation is very, very important for us to continue the practice, whether it's going well or going bad or whatever, and call ourselves meditators and do the practice. Take advantage of it. And so of course, this being complete and finding our way and stopping the search and stopping the seeking has everything to do with dropping the attachments, understanding impermanence, and understanding our thoughts, what's going on within the mind and the body. All of these things are very important. The biggest aspect, I think, of stopping the search and stopping the seeking is that for that moment, let me explain it like this. If I'm speaking for myself here, if I am meditating and I have stopped seeking and searching, the I is no longer there, for that moment anyway. The I has disintegrated. I have disintegrated. If I am sitting here meditating and I feel complete, the I will not sit in that being complete for very long, because the I wants to elaborate on that. The I wants more. I'm talking about the ego or the self. If I recognize that, oh, this is great, this is a wonderful practice, I've stopped seeking, I feel really good, it's not going to last for very long, because the I will be searching and seeking for something even better than that feeling complete. That is the human nature, until we awaken, until we become enlightened. And so when we are complete and when we are fully, really have stopped seeking and searching for a moment, that I is not there. It has disintegrated. And if we became enlightened in that moment, it would not come back. And those are that's not from a direct experience from my part. I'm speaking from the teachers that I've had and the things that I've read, the Buddhist sutras and that type of thing. But I totally believe it, and I think that understanding is actually very important for us to understand how the I can get in the way, because we can become very, very sensitive to that. That I feel great. Now, what else can I do to make me feel even greater? Besides getting a drink of water. So I would like to put that invitation out this evening, and we'll meditate on that concept anyway, for a short while anyway. We don't want to be thinking while we're meditating or anything, but I'll guide us through a part of the meditation. And in that guiding will be the invitation to set aside the ego, the I, the self, and see what it feels like to just sit and be complete and with total acceptance of everything as it is in the moment. Just like nothing could get any better than what it is right now. And see how that feels. And see if it is, if you can actually, if it registers as a moment of awakening for you, Because in many respects it is. So if you'd like to make yourself comfortable, please. Gently close the eyes. Please make sure that the body is very, very comfortable and very relaxed. And of course, the reason we want the body to be relaxed is so that we can really get a snapshot of that feeling and not have to come back to the body to adjust it. Now, if we do have to come back and adjust the body, there's nothing wrong with that. We want to be very mindful that that's what we're doing. We want to be mindful of the fact that the body is comfortable now, and if we pay too much attention to the body, it will feel uncomfortable after a while. But if we just relax into it, let the body completely de-stress and be comfortable, and really just set aside the body for this meditation, we'll have a better experience. And of course, a better experience of meditation is one where the hindrances aren't a problem, that we do recognize and are very aware of each thought within the mind, including our attachments, including impermanence, and that we recognize our true nature when it shows up, when it's there for us. Most of us remember when we first sat in meditation and we were kept asking ourselves if we're doing this practice correctly and how difficult that made the practice. After a while, there was eventually some acceptance that you were sitting in meditation, you're doing it correctly. Nothing had to be changed. You just had to be aware of the breath or whatever your meditation object was. And trust that when the mind wanders off, we'll be able to catch that and then bring it back to the meditation object. And we reminded ourselves that meditation wasn't very hard, I'm doing it correctly. And there was no more really looking what to do in meditation. There's no looking within the mind as far as what's going on. Am I doing this right? Is this right or wrong? What is happening? And so in that acceptance, knowing that we're practicing meditation correctly, there's some peace of mind. It's like we can take a breath. We can relax. And that's kind of how the entire meditation practice is. We set aside this time each day to practice. And we're very accepting that we're going to have an experience. If it's a good meditation, that's wonderful. If it's a not so good meditation, so be it. But as long as we're not looking for that perfect meditation, we can almost be guaranteed that it's going to be all right. That it's going to be even possibly enjoyable. But at least not agonizing if we're not looking and seeking for that perfect meditation experience. And life is the same way. To have the experience of life, understand that it has its ups and downs. There's going to be some very hard and troubling times. There's going to be some wonderful times. Everything's in a constant flux. Everything is changing. And if there's acceptance in that, and just simply waiting for the good times to come about, waiting for the difficult times to pass, with patience, without seeking for more constantly, and particularly without seeking and striving for that control, to control every moment of our life, is really a type of freedom that we can recognize as being complete. If we would sit in meditation and any kind of would've, could've's, or should've's would come up, we would immediately recognize, or we should immediately recognize, that we are seeking, that we're looking for more, that things should be better. That's how we feel, that things should be better than they are, or I can make things better than they are. The mind going into the future, planning, going into the future with the idea that as long as I keep my attention on the future and what I'm doing and how things can be, and work harder, mentally and physically, and then I'll be happier, and then I'll be complete. Or looking at our past mistakes and seeing how things went wrong and that we want to fix it. Looking at the anger from the past. As long as we're doing this, we're not accepting the moment, which means that we're seeking, we're looking, we're searching. And as long as we're seeking and looking, we're not really happy, because we want more. We want things to be different. So being grateful for what we have and recognizing this opportunity right now is really meditation. And that's why some say that meditation is like coming home. Because we're coming home to a place where we don't have to look anymore. We don't have to look any further than what we have right here, right now, in order to find absolute peace of mind in this very moment. And see if you can recognize this peacefulness. And anytime that peacefulness isn't there, just simply ask why. What's going on? What am I seeking? What am I searching for? And why am I doing this? Be sure to watch the mind and the movement of the mind. Be very present, very appreciative that you set aside this time, and just be very present and very, very much with what is happening at this moment. No anticipation and nothing to desire for. Just complete acceptance. Again, see how it feels to be complete in your practice, to feel complete in your practice, like nothing more is needed. And see if you can just rest in that for a while you're meditating. Might not be possible to do all the time, but there's moments when you can rest without seeking, without looking for more. Those can be the moments that we really treasure. And those could be the moments that we want more of, when we're not striving and looking and trying to be more than what we already are. If you'd like to bring your hands together in front of you. May each one of us and all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us, may no difficulties come to us, and may we all meet with spiritual and worldly success. And may we have the patience, the courage, and the understanding to meet and overcome any problems or any difficulties that we might face in life. Thank you.